you, Madam President. Madam President, I come to the floor today to address America's aging roads and bridges. Our highways are in need of repairs all across the country. In some places, we actually need to do rebuilds, new roads. And that's why I, along with Senators Carper and Capito and Cardin, have introduced America's Transportation Infrastructure Act. This bipartisan legislation is going to make a significant investment in our roads, in our bridges, in our tunnels. It will fund our highways at historic levels. Now, these investments are critical. But just as critical is speeding up government's approvals for important road projects. Last Congress, the Environment and Public Works Committee, which I chair, heard testimony about a highway project in my home state in Wyoming. The project took a decade, a full 10 years, to get the required federal permits, one after another, but then it only took a couple of months to get the project done. A project that's going to make our roads safer and more efficient, which is what the whole desired effect was of this project, was held up because of 10 years of waiting for Washington permits. A decade to permit, months to build. Any American with common sense knows that that is absurd. America's Transportation Infrastructure Act cuts through Washington red tape, so projects can get done faster, better, cheaper, smarter. That's a key. We use President Trump's one federal decision policy as a model. It's a great plan, a great policy put forward by the President. Under the policy, the President has set a goal of his administration of completing environmental reviews within 2 years. It's a goal I absolutely applaud. Our legislation will codify key elements of that policy into law. The bill will streamline duplicative requirements by many different federal agencies on the same project. The permitting process will be simplified and will occur faster. Our bill also gives states increased flexibility, something that states want. So federal approvals can get moving and the project construction can get started sooner. It reduces the amount of paperwork needed from states to complete the projects. It's unacceptable that the federal government would hold up state projects and put drivers at risk. Washington should never prioritize paperwork, which is what Washington tends to do, prioritizing paperwork over people's safety. America's Transportation Infrastructure Act cuts red tape. It makes safety a top priority. Our legislation is bipartisan, passing the Environment and Public Works Committee unanimously, 21-0. President Trump called on Congress to pass the bill. He did it during his State of the Union address last month. This legislation is a win for the entire country. The time is now to pass America's Transportation Infrastructure Act so we can reduce the punishing and costly regulations and then do the important work of improving highway projects so that they can get built. Thank you, Madam President. I yield the floor